Welcome to Asian Horizon. Today I want to share some thoughts on the current China-Russia relationship and where it's probably headed going forward. So this week, the director of the Central Foreign Affairs Commission in China, Yiechi, is in Moscow, where he is meeting Nikolai Patrushev, the secretary of the Russian National Security Council. They're discussing, China-Russia relations, strategic dialogue, economic relations, and a range of issues. And this is also happening at the backdrop of Nikolai Patrushev, who met Jake Sullivan, the U.S. National Security Advisor, in Geneva last Monday, because President Putin is meeting President Biden in Geneva on June 16th. That's only, around a couple of weeks from now. So Yiechi and Nikolai Patrushev wanted really to discuss in Moscow this week about, what are the current state of, global relations, strategic dialogue, and what is the potential of improvement perhaps for China and Russia with the US. So they want to calibrate relations and dialogue in preparation of the President Biden, President Putin Summit. That's really important because both China and Russia, have challenging relations with the US currently. They also are going through a rough time in relations with Europe. Both Russia and China have had challenges with Europe. Sanctions have been going both ways. Recently, also the investment treaty between China and the EU was stopped by the EU because of sanctions that was imposed really both ways by China and the EU. But the EU has said that they will not ratify the investment treaty with China unless China takes back the sanctions imposed on EU officials and other European officials. So currently there are challenges in the relationship between China and Russia and the EU and the US. So really not right now, the state of global relations, strategically are at a challenging point. And I think that Yiechi and Nikolai Patrushev, they really want to work on finding a way forward. Now, in terms of China-Russia relations, they also want to find ways forward on a range of issues. They want to improve economic relations and strengthen that. In terms of energy, they've already worked on building various pipelines. The Russia is supporting China in terms of building nuclear reactors. So they're improving energy relations and strengthening economic relations as well. In addition, because of China's One Belt, One Road strategy, Russia is an important player because Russia is now building the Meridian Highway, and the Meridian Highway is stretching around 2,000 kilometers from Kazakhstan to Belarus, and that is connecting the One Belt Road, which stretches from Western China across Central Asia into Russia and then onwards to Europe. So Russia is a very important country for China in its strategic infrastructure strategy, the One Belt, One Road strategy. And also, therefore, they want to really find probably ways forward in terms of building relations and, working on terms of Central Asia, but also the Middle East. So, and Africa, Russia recently, is more focused also towards Africa. China has for a long time now made some very large investments across Africa in infrastructure and logistics, and that probably they also want to think, how can they expand the relations, and other issues as well. In terms of alliance, no, I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that China and Russia will enter into an alliance. They want to maintain independence, but rather continue and build the relations going forward. We're probably not going to see China or Russia interfering in each other's more sensitive national regional issues. So probably will not see China interfere in terms of Crimea or Ukraine. And the same with Russia. Probably we're not going to see Russia intervene in some of the South China Sea issue. So they want to really strengthen relations where they can find ways forward in terms of, but also respecting each other and maintaining a multipolar world. That is very important for both China and Russia. They don't want to see the US, playing the hegemonic card and, just to show that they are kind of a superpower and hegemon. They really want to have a balanced global community, and that is both what Russia and China are saying. In terms of the prospects of China and Russia working forward also in the environment, that's something they're really focused on. I think President Xi and President Putin really want to find ways forward in the long term to see how both China and Russia can play a very constructive role, both in terms of bilateral relations, but also on the global scene. Because the climate issue and the environmental issues, that's going to be maybe the most paramount issue in the coming decades as we approach 2050. Important in terms of that, the net zero on energy. That's really going to be critical time. So I think going forward, we're going to really see that China and Russia will, strengthen relations and really broaden both in terms of economy, economic relations, energy relations, but also in the terms of the security and defense aspect. Now, China purchased the S-400 missile system from Russia. And there are a range of other fields also within they have military exercises, both bilaterally and also jointly with other countries. So I think going forward, China and Russia will strengthen relations in a range of fields, but also find ways perhaps to calibrate it on the global scene in terms of working to improve relations with the US and the EU where possible. So, but these are some thoughts I think going forward. But currently, China-Russia relations are at maybe the highest point, and maybe some of the strongest points in history, and they are aware of that. So they also want to then find ways to just maintain that stability, maintain the strength in relations going forward in the long term. Well, thank you so much for joining, and please remember to subscribe to Asian Horizon, and I look forward to see you next week.